Issue 51. We start out with the freedom fighters gathered at the Knothole Village freedom fighter compound, as I wonder why the hell they ruined Uncle Chuck's design by giving him back his black and red eyes from the very old comics. And Sonic asks why they aren't celebrating with the rest of the village at the meeting area. It turns out that they were simply doing this to award Sonic with a medal, although they could have done that at the meeting area. By the way, when are they going to resolve that the real Sword of Acorns have been stolen? You know, the one that was supposed to cure King Acorn? It's not like we got to see Sally try to cure her king by holding the fake sword in front of him, I guess, and then assume that even the sword couldn't cure him and give up. That's a weird thing to keep to off-screen. Anyways, at night, Sally wakes up Sonic, with Nicole wondering if he's too tired from the festivities for their secret mission. Secret mission? Why does it have to be secret? What is it with Sally and being secretive? If anything, not telling her friends about a mission is a terrible idea, because what if it goes wrong and she ends up missing? Then they'll have 3 members of their team gone and no one will know where they went. Besides, a secret mission for what? Robotnik's gone. But it turns out that instead of being a huge tactical error and kind of out of character moment on Sally's part, it actually makes sense, because she's been replaced with a robot duplicate of her who summons some combots. And then the fake Sally, for no real reason, morphs to look so different that at first glance, I didn't even know who it was or what it was supposed to be. What is the point of morphing like this? There'd be a tactical advantage to disguising yourself as Sally, which you just showed you had by getting to Knothole and even taking Nicole with you. And plus that there's also a tactical advantage in that he might be more reluctant to hurt you because you look like Sally. But now you've just dropped your disguise. Why hasn't Nicole reacted to this? Why hasn't she tried to use her magic technology hacking bullshit powers to stop her? But the most confusing thing is, Robot Sally insists that soon Knothole will belong to Robotnik. And I'm hoping for the comic's sake that either this turning out to all just be a bad dream of Sonic's, or that the robot was made a while ago and is unaware of her master's fate. Because I would think it was such bullshit if they brought Eggman back that quickly. Especially when it makes no sense for him to survive his fate. We then cut to Tails flying while carrying Sonic, making me wonder if it really is a dream, because there's no way he'd be already up at this time and there to save the day. Then that is also explained, as it turns out that this Tails was a robot Tails who was carrying Sonic into some badniks, and after some weird explosion happens for some reason as Sonic gets away, the robot Tails drops his disguise too, for no reason. Sonic drills through the underground soil with a spin dash while thinking that first his best friends betray him, and now he keeps seeing visions of his Uncle Chuck in puddles. The first part, why the hell would he think that? So he'll call it his friends betraying him when some robots disguised as his friends attack him, but he won't call it his friends betraying him when the court-martial him like a criminal? The minute I saw Bunny, I assumed correctly that she was a fake too, and her eyes prematurely changing colors for some reason and risking her being discovered early proved me right. Although Sonic fails to notice that as a dead giveaway and instead gets suspicious because, well, she says a holographic projection of Uncle Chuck had shot lasers at her somehow. He had seen the same projection a minute ago and yet it attacked her just now. Also, you'll understand what I mean later, but why does she even know about that holographic projection? Sonic grabs the ring, but for some reason he can't lift it and use it. This along with the Uncle Chuck projections is yet another reason I'm convinced that this story is all just a dream. I have no idea what happened to defeat the fake Bunny here, because all I saw was the word zip and a close-up of what I can only assume is her that's so close up that I don't know what just happened. That's not necessarily an art problem, that's just a problem with a limited amount of comic space and a comic being just a series of still images. It's hard to tell what's going on in action scenes. Sonic says with relief that he's finally made it to Knothole. Then he finds a weird-looking hologram of Uncle Chuck speaking to him in gibberish. I was trying to translate it as anagrams of real words, but I couldn't make out what he was saying. But somehow Sonic still comes to the desperate conclusion that he's trying to warn him about something without being heard. Sonic then immediately destroys the point of the gibberish disguising the message by saying out loud what he thinks the message is, to not go to Knothole, and points out that he had said his name. It looks like Robotnik is chasing Sonic down with some metal versions of his friends, and he says that he finally has Knothole, and has now captured Sonic as well, somehow, even though Sonic can run at the speed of sound. Seriously, I would basically forgive this whole story if it turned out to all be a dream. Because this is just a confusing mess. Eggman explains that these really are Sonic's friends, and they've been roboticized to be that way. And he brags that not even the rings can help him. Yep, definitely a dream. Betrayed by my best friends. Again, why the hell is this something that's not their fault? Being called a betrayal by Sonic, but his friends ganging up on him, trying to get him court-martialed and banished from Knothole. And Sally flooding a tunnel to Knothole that he was in, which would have killed him earlier. None of that was considered a betrayal? Sonic's going into denial about the whole situation somehow causes him to wake up to reality, where he's lying in a bed shaped like a car, with a device attached to his head, and his spine's magically hidden somehow. And the device is connected to Uncle Chuck, who's dressed in the weird way he saw him in his dream and is wearing something on his head like he was. Why did he have to be dressed like that for Sonic to be able to see him like that in the dream? I mean, it's not like he's right in front of him and his eyes are open so he can see him. Sally says that he did it, he's waking up. And Uncle Chuck says that his award had been booby-trapped with an artificially made virus that threw him into a nightmare he couldn't get out of while he slept. So Chuck had made a device to help him realize things weren't real. I'm guessing Snively made this, but how did he get his hands on the metal in the first place? Does he still know where Knothole is so we can go there to do that? But Knothole's safe and sound in a temporal rift now, so I'd assume Snively can't go there. I don't understand how this could have even happened. It said that if Sonic had given up in the dream and let Robotnik do what he wanted, he would have never woken up from the dream. Why? Why would his decisions in a dream affect anything in real life? Why wouldn't the virus just be programmed to do its job regardless of what he chose? Antoine seems to wipe his eye while saying that everyone was worried about him. So I guess he's gotten over his grudge against him for bullying him and being a commoner then. It would make sense that putting that much energy into plotting against him in issue 40 would have gotten all that hatred out of his system. The issue ends with him not knowing who had done this to try to eliminate Sonic, while conveniently not asking how the hell someone even got their hands on that award and just sweeping it under the rug. I hope they explain that. Unfortunately, they aren't going to for several more issues. The only story of this issue was written by Carl Bollers. It was a weird story, but because it was all a dream, I can completely forgive it, as instead of its weird stuff being the product of bad writing, all those weird things about it were just subtle foreshadowing that I picked up on. Why was everyone roboticized so easily? Why was Eggman still alive? Why did the rings stop working? Why did the robots arbitrarily give up their disguises other than just to scare Sonic to be a dick? And why didn't Nicole react at all to find out she was being carried all the way out there by a robot Sally? Are they diabolic ex machinas and stuff? No, because it was all a dream. I feel so smart having guessed that so easily, although I hadn't guessed that it was an artificial dream. I think the story might have worked better without the confusing award element that made no sense. They could have had the Freedom Fighters find out Snively was still plotting against them some other way, or had them just assume it for good reason. Granted, the award did serve as a Chekhov's gun, and inconveniences him later reverse way, but it really made no sense to me that someone could have gotten their hands on it to sabotage it, let alone someone living so far away from it who shouldn't have even known it was being made. But I'll forgive that too if they explain this well enough in later issues. You know what the sad part is? This story was basically a crazy nightmare, and it was still less confusing and nonsensical than the issue before it. And it was all justified to boot. Because it was mostly a dream, only two of its big flaws matter. The award thing, and the fact that for some stupid reason they went back to Uncle Chuck's early installment weirdness, creepy original robot design. This is supposed to be a sympathetic character. I don't know who the hell thought that was a good idea. I mean, we're supposed to basically support him being a robot because he's a great spy that way, and he survives injuries better that way. But I guess maybe they changed it because he can't make a good spy because Snively knows about him now, and so his advantage is gone. But he's still less likely to get hurt, he still doesn't get sick, and apparently doesn't need to sleep either, so it's not all bad. But it really goes to show you just how flawless this story is, that one of its biggest flaws out of the two of them was purely superficial aesthetic complaint. I'm not saying I loved it or anything, it was pretty frustrating reading it because it was so confusing, but it was interesting to read. I'm not going to dismiss it as totally pointless and worthless just for being mostly a dream, even though there is merit to that. I can imagine what if scenarios like this are really fun for the writers, as they can just write whatever with no consequences, and I can respect that. It was nice to see a story with basically no real stakes and consequences after the epic story that was issue 50. It served as the closest thing we have to a breather story. Well, I say this about a story about a nightmare where Sonic's being chased by creepy robots of his friends, but it was obvious it was all a dream from the minute Tails showed up at the middle of the night. And was there ever really any doubt in Sonic refusing to give up? It wasn't really that big of a deal. Snively shouldn't have bothered making a virus that would only work if Sonic gave up, because if he knew better, he'd know that it would never happen. Next up is 52.